To infinity and beyond.
No. Live long and prosper.
All right, you're gonna teach me.
You have all your fingers together.
I do.
And then you just go like this.
Stay together.
Put them all together.
Okay.
And then just...
I do this. I go there.
That's the shocker. Hi, I'm Ashley Nicole Black, and today we're talking about Nichelle Nichols. So it's 1964, and Nichelle Nichols guest stars on an episode of a show called The Lieutenant that's run by Gene Roddenberry. And Gene Roddenberry was like, "You're amazing. You're so beautiful. Do you want to be on this new show called Star Trek? Here's my plan. It's going to be super utopian, and black ladies can be bosses. So this is actually a really big deal." So Nichelle Nichols is like, "That sounds chill as hell. So let's do that show." So they start filming Star Trek, and Nichelle Nichols plays Lieutenant Uhura, who's the communications officer. So she's like, "Captain, I have something to communicate with you." Boop, 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 boop. She has nails that are way too long for space. But also, Nichelle Nichols doesn't actually watch the show because back then TV came on at a certain time and she was at work during that time. So at the end of the first season, she's like, "Star Trek is cool, whatever. I don't know if anybody watches it, but my dream is to be on Broadway. I want to sing. I want to dance." And she goes to Gene Roddenberry and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go Broadway. So I'm done trekking. I'm done." So he tells her, like, "Please just like take the weekend to think about it." And she's like, "Whatever, bitch. Fine." So that weekend, Nichelle Nichols goes to an NAACP fundraiser, and one of the organizers comes up to her and is like, "Hey, there's a guy here and he's your biggest fan and he really wants to meet you." And she's like, "Okay, cool, whatever, bring on the nerd." And she sees her fan and he's like, "Your show is the only show that I allow my 3 little children to stay up and watch. We love Star Trek, it's so good." And she's like, "Excuse me, are you Martin Luther King?" And he's like, "Yes, I am Martin Luther King, and I'm a Trekkie." And she's like, "Me." But it's real. Martin Luther King loves Star Trek. And he's like, "You are the only black woman on television who doesn't play a servant. You're the only person out there providing hope to black people that there's a future where maybe they won't be seen as less than and they'll be seen as equals." And she's like, "Wow, that's great, except for I'm leaving. I quit Star Trek this week. I'm so sorry." And he's like, "No, you can't quit. Do you realize that you are the first black woman who's black woman?" He wasn't drunk when he said it.
It's okay.
I was drunk. But Martin Luther King was like, "If you leave, this one image that children have of a black woman as an equal will just disappear from television." And she's like, "Well, that's a lot. That's like a lot. That's a lot on my shoulders. Can you chill?" And he's like, "No, I'm Martin Luther King. I have no chill." She's like, "Okay, I'll think about it." Stay tuned for more drunk history. Do you know how the first interracial kiss on television happened? So Nichelle Nichols goes into Gene Roddenberry's office and she's like, "Gene, I met Martin Luther King this weekend and he really likes your shit." And he's like, "Oh my God, someone understands what I'm trying to do here." She's like, "Oh my God, shut the up. That's not the point. The point is this show is going to advance racial equality. I'll stay on your show." So, you know, they're filming Star Wars. It's great.
Is that true?
Oh my God. Also very good. So they're doing Star Trek. It's great. People love it. At some point, Gene Roddenberry is like, "I know, we're going to push the envelope. We're going to have the first interracial kiss." And William Shatner is like, "Hell yes." And Nichelle Nichols is like, "Whatever, fine." But the network came down and was like, "Whoa, hold on. We can't have an interracial kiss on TV." So William Shatner convinces them, "Let's shoot it both ways. We'll shoot it with the kiss first, and then we'll shoot it without, and you can decide what you want to do in editing." So they shoot the scene with the kiss, and then he's like, "You know what? I have a note. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's do it one more time." And they shoot it over and over and over again. And they're like, "William, enough kissing. Okay, we only have time to shoot this one more time." And he's like, "Okay, let's do one without the kiss." So it isn't until the next day that they watch the scene and see that William Shatner crosses his eyes to the camera. And they're like, "What the is this really happening?" And William Shatner was like, "I guess we either have to air this interracial kiss or not have a scene." And that is how the first interracial kiss gets on television.
Wow.
And then in 1969, America lands on the moon. And America's like, oh my God, we landed on the moon. It's amazing. And Nichelle was like, hold up. That's all white dudes. What the right? So she gives this big speech and she's like, NASA, get your shit together. Can you please recruit someone to be an astronaut who's not a white dude? And NASA's like, okay, cool, but like, can you do it? Because we don't know anybody who's not a white dude. So Nichelle Nichols is like, black ladies have to do everything. So she travels around the country and she recruits people to be in NASA. And she's like, hey, black people, Asians, lady people, do you want to go to space? And they're like, okay, cool. And she recruited Sally Ride. And then she recruits Colonel Buford. He's the first black dude to be in NASA.
How cool is that?
And then she recruited Mae Jemison. And she's like, hey, you should apply for NASA. And Mae Jemison is like, oh my God, you were on Star Trek. I love you. But she's like, pay attention. So Nichelle Nichols was like the first black lady to go to space for fake, and she recruited the first black lady to go to space for real. She literally integrated space. Everybody who's really good at math or whatever you have to be good at to go to NASA can do whatever they want to do.
But we still need to prosper if we're gonna live long.
Yeah.
Is this America right now? It's
Yes.
trying so hard,
But it can't
but
get
this
over.
ring finger just can't deal with it.